Warning: the contents of this podcast may offend you. If you are a snowflake or easily offended, please stop watching now.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rubber City Throwdown, the official voices of Honor Fighting Championship and Cage Thunder. Today we've got Isaiah the Beast Chapman with us. Thanks for joining us, Isaiah.
Oh, for sure, brother.
It's been a while, man. How's life?
It's good, man. You know, just working and taking care of my little people.
And working.
You know, and working.
And working. Emphasis on work. And when are we going to see you back in the cage, man?
Hopefully soon. You know, I'm working that out, and whenever we can get something grounded, you know, I'm back in there.
Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Speaking of Honor, we got Honor Fighting Championship 7 coming up January 19th, 2019. It'll be the first show of the year for Honor.
So what did they come down to with the naming of this one? Is this one going to be
It's just 7.
just 7?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
just
even going to... Okay.
I got them to do like the names just because eventually you run out of names to call stuff.
Right.
So unless they're going to have, you know, this event and it'll be twice a year, every year, it just...
Let's just call this one Honor Fighting Championship, one for the boss lady.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I saw it on something, but I wasn't sure if that was going to be
It's on the Honor Fighting Championship website. I'm not taking credit for that name. This is referring to Melanie, the late wife of Jeremy Caudell, the promoter. Tragically passed away due to breast cancer. She fought for a long time, and I think she even made it well beyond the point of the doctors thought she was going to make it at. And so make sure when you come to this event, you get your 50-50 tickets. It's to, raffle tickets. It goes to Kids Crushing Cancer. It's a charity that Jeremy and Melanie were really close to, and it's for a good cause, you know?
awesome.
So,
I like
for
it.
sure.
and also take a look for, say, OCW is coming in a week prior. What is it, the 12th?
12th,
The
yep.
12th of January. So the Ohio Championship Wrestling is a week before Honor Fighting Championship. And we're also going to be covering that in the Rubber City Throwdown produced web series that we're kind of doing with Jeremy Caudell, kind of like a little in the behind the scenes in the eyes of a promoter, what Jeremy
Fight week.
has been going through. And recently we even got a chance to see him at the Springfield Town Hall when they did a zoning committee meeting, where congratulations to Jeremy and Melanie Lake for they're now able to do more than just swimming. You know, they can continue with the haunted houses if they so choose to, but now they can hold wrestling shows and mixed martial arts events at Melanie Lakes.
They're still in the process of that one. The way that everything went down, which you'll have to watch the little mini series of everything. So their main concern was for the neighborhood and the community. The big ordeal was noise, and they pretty much came down to a small group of them which are going to get together and try and put a handle on the sound. It wasn't necessarily whether or not they were going to be able to put on these big shows. It was more along the lines of being a nuisance to the community and being a nuisance to people that are, on a Sunday afternoon wanting to sit down and relax on their porch and enjoy their drinks or having people come over.
Man,
If it's
it was a-
forbid, you
they
hear
bought a
someone
house
jumping
around
off a diving board.
Oh no, they were okay
Mess
with
up
the
your whole
sound,
day.
and this was actually brought up. You know, if you watch the series, this we're not divulging any information that was candid or anything like that. It was more along the lines of the guys that were not guys. Okay, the people that were upset even admitted that the sound of a diving board does not bother them because it happens every so often. It was more along the lines of the music and not the type of music. It was how loud the music was.
Right.
they were complaining to complain. That's what I got from it.
And that's exactly what me and Brian was sitting next to each other, and we're just trying to listen. And then this sweet older lady, I mean, she kept coming up and just, it was like Jeremy and this younger lady just kept going at it back and forth. And Jeremy's trying to explain, you know, that's not what's going on there. That's not our problem, but I'll help you out as best as possible.
Right.
But I mean, Jeremy can pretty much do whatever he wants right now. But he could, if they complain more, they're going to end up back in another town hall meeting. That's
Right.
pretty much how it is. But
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
trial and error. Let's see what
I might actually be on that committee because I live right there.
Right.
So
Well, for the time
balance it out.
being, maybe an
Right.
early victory for Jeremy.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Melanie Lake, and,
for sure.
You know, hopefully we can see some wrestling shows and maybe some MMA events, man. Get some honor shows going there. That'd be cool, man. Especially to have his own venue, his own parking.
Right.
You know, probably save a lot of
I mean,
money
there
for
was a
people.
huge part of the community that did come. I mean, even the township, the board, even said that this is the biggest turnout that they've had in a long time, and there was more supporters there than there were people against it, and they were all saying the same thing about being totally for having the park reopened and doing something of a wholesome type of genre.
Right.
You know, that way the whole families can go out there and do something, and they can drop their kids off at Kim Tam, or I'm sorry, Melanie Lake, and not have to worry about their kids getting into trouble or, you know, somebody trying to snag up their child or anything like that. And that's what Jeremy wants. And there was more people supporting that than there was anything else. It was all about the noise complaints. It's
Yeah.
pretty much what the whole thing was about.
Well, let's jump in a little bit more in honor. We're going to talk about 4 fights today. Like I said last week on the podcast, we're gonna ease into this one. You know, we're not gonna just run down the entire fight card every single week.
No, we got to
because
give him cookies.
by mid December, man.
Got to give him Scooby snacks.
By mid December, we're gonna have no content to fill.
I'm sorry.
That tap was for the cricket cue. But first fight we're going to talk about is the Jeffrey Ofak and Dakota Day. Jeffrey Ofak, 4-3, 5'6", 125 pounds. This fight, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be at featherweight or bantamweight. I know Dakota Day has also fought at bantamweight, so I don't know if he has fought at featherweight in the past. Dakota Day, 5'3", 135, 125 pounds, 5'6". So these guys are the same height, roughly, you know, around the same record, 1 fight difference. And obviously around the same weight. And like I said, we've seen Jeffrey Ofak, his last fight, unfortunately, you know, he lost his last fight by decision against Drew Dixon. And
yeah.
that's a hell of a guy to lose against as a decision, you know. And I mean, Drew put on a clinic, a wrestling clinic,
yeah.
and he was able to
Fought out of an
withstand.
arm bar that most people would tap to. Like
Right. So this, I mean, and then Dakota Day, you know,
His most recent was against Tim Fry.
Tim Fry
that
was
was
out
another
of Piccolo,
war,
right? He
yeah.
came in,
Yeah.
and that Tim Fry had how long was he out before coming back? Because I remember Tim Fry.
Tim Fry being
over
out
a year.
Yeah, because I know it was over a year. He took some time off, and then he came back.
almost
and
2 years. 7/23 of 16, and then his most recent fight was 6/30 of 2018. So almost 2 years.
Right. I mean, Dakota Day was coming before that Tim Fry fight. He was coming He was riding a 2-fight losing streak. So, but that, like I said, obviously those 2 losses ain't gonna mean shit. He's coming off of a win. It was Fight Fest, wasn't it? The June 30th card, Honor Fighting Championship.
Yeah, it was
5.
Fight Fest, and that was when he fought Tim Fry, and they went all 3 rounds. It looks
Yeah,
like.
So, if I was a betting man, I would say that this fight's probably going to go to decision. I mean, it's hard to say. It can end in any method, but I mean, you've got
MMA math says that's it's going to be a grind. You know,
MMA math says
So,
it's probably going to go to a decision.
Right.
These guys are in great shape. They're great competitors. So
and they're both gamers. Like they both show up. So
right. And with Jeff, he's at Griffin Roll.
yeah.
Where's Dakota?
I don't know. I don't know where to.
Doesn't have any information about Dakota.
You probably wouldn't see it. You probably wouldn't see it on any website, man. It'd be more like a social media thing. I think it's something that you'd have to see it.
Well,
You have to
Dakota,
see-
if you are listening to this,
For
give us an
some-
update and we'll talk about it later.
Well, no, we probably on his social media somewhere how he might be an independent fighter, but it's something that if you knew him personally, you would know. But definitely going to find out.
Like
after the
I'm
podcast.
thinking somewhere, but I don't want to say it and be wrong.
Right.
Then it's like, I don't know.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be wrong than not know at all, man.
Actually,
So
for us, it's probably just best for us not to
Yeah,
say.
honestly, for us, it's probably just
We'll
better.
omit that.
We'll just keep it to ourselves for now.
I mean, and it's hard too because like you can't. Fighters are constantly changing camps anyway. So Dakota, if he had a camp back in June, that may not be his camp anymore.
That's true.
If he was an independent fighter, he may be with a camp now. So the information is constantly changing. So it's just best just to not say anything at all. Which I mean, lately, it doesn't matter what we say.
Just remember, there's
Someone's
always a
gonna
way
fucking
to get a hold of
complain.
us.
Someone's gonna. It's okay though. We're used to it. Parker
Kind of.
Wills, Christian Porter. Christian Porter was the guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Christian Porter the guy that flipped off his opponent while he was on the ground? and
Yeah.
kicked
It
him
was.
in the ass
Yep.
at the
It
time?
was. So, okay, so at Cage Madness
Against Hector.
would have been Hector Mayers,
Jr. Yep.
Was it
and
Mares
he
or
lost.
I think
He,
it's Mares.
Was it Mares?
he lost against him,
Yeah.
and so he flipped him off.
Not to.
That was during the
veer-
fight, though. Like he didn't wait
Yeah,
till he
that's-
lost and
yeah.
flick him off. Like it was.
No, it was
It
during
was straight
the fight.
deep.
Was it during? I thought it
No,
was
no,
after he.
no, it was during.
Oh.
David,
because
now
we
your legs
talked
all
about it.
tangled up, sitting there, and he was like Diaz brothers.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. We
That's
talked
right.
about it on the podcast.
I forgot about that. That's right.
But, not to veer off, but Hector. What the hell happened to Hector, man? 2-0. He hasn't fought since that fight.
No, I don't know. Just
And
not.
wasn't he training with like Jose?
Yeah,
and,
yeah. And I know he still works with those guys. I asked him when he was going to fight, and he was just kind of like, I'm just not
I mean,
training for it.
Hector's
So,
what, 31? I was about 31. Now,
32.
Right? 32.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's still a young guy. I don't know. Maybe life, maybe day job. I don't know, but.
Maybe he
I mean,
just
he's a
wanted
hell
to
of a
take a
fighter.
minute.
yeah.
And he's a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a competitor. And
I mean, it's not uncommon for this guy because if you look at his record,
well, yeah, his last fight.
his last fight was in 2016.
yeah.
Then he went to 17 in April, and then
And he hasn't fought since.
Right.
So he might fighting competitively may not just be on the top of his to-do list. You know, a lot of fighters just fight as a hobby and not as a career. It's not something they want to do for the rest
it's a
of their
Childers
life.
thing.
Yeah, you know.
Maybe he's just racking up his degrees.
Yeah, he just wants he trains consistently. He may train consistently, but he just doesn't want to compete. It's not really his thing to do. But with how good Hector is or was, and Christian Porter losing a decision,
Yep.
that really shows how good Christian is as
Yeah.
a competitor as well.
And
Going
that
up
fight
against a
could have
Parker-
went either way. Like that was a
Yeah,
close
it was
fight.
it was a good fight. And Parker Wills coming off of a victory against Angelo McCreaney.
I think
Is that how
that's
you
who
say
that
his
is.
name?
Yeah,
McCraney?
or McDouche or something. I don't know.
It's D'Angelo.
We just call him
It's
Wills.
D'Angelo.
We just call him Angelo.
Okay.
But D'Angelo.
Why do you? Never mind. We're not going to get down this rabbit hole.
Nah, it's short story. The shorter version is I used to train with Apex back when Apex was training at LA Fitness.
Yeah.
Brian covered a lot of his expenses, and then we never paid him back.
Or
And
showed up
then-
again.
Yeah, or like after his fight.
Well, I kinda caught on to
he
that.
He never showed up. He just kind of dipped. He's doing his own thing, and
Wants
basically
to
just
sell,
ghosted.
spend all his money on was it Herbalife and trying to sell that shit. They buy from
Herbalife?
Walmart. Yeah.
And then I don't know if he started a CBD oil company or something. And then,
Well, that went downhill quick.
and then we all know it's not the law in Ohio. But anyway, with Parker, his last fight was against D'Angelo. And Parker looked good.
Yeah.
He looked really good because Angelo's wasn't a bad start. Actually,
Angelo
caught
yeah.
Parker in the first round,
And then took
and then Parker just took him.
Oh, and Angelo took a really bad eye poke too that the ref just let go because like his eye was pretty messed up. And then
I'm not even gonna fucking talk.
No,
about
no, because
I
it's
don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't dispute eye pokes anymore because every fucking problem that we've had with fighters and coaches and camps have all derived from eye pokes.
eye
It was
pokes that
either-
we didn't see.
it was either from eye
that
pokes
there.
or
So,
doctor stoppages of some
Whether
sort.
or not Parker poked his eye or not, I don't give a shit. All I know is that Angelo had caught him pretty good striking wise in like the first round,
Yeah.
and then Parker
Like,
proceeded to take
was it-
Angelo down. And just control the
Angelo
fight.
even reversed it into a full mount and had no idea what to do
Because Angelo didn't. He didn't
because he
really
doesn't
see-
show up on grappling day or didn't. But whatever, fuck that guy.
Great, now we're gonna have this one too.
Dude, that's beef I want.
Brian wants his money back.
Dude,
Can't
that
get
was
a hold of the
me
guy.
$240.
What was that movie? Was it like $3?
Better off dead.
Is that
Yeah.
$2.
$2? No, Parker was. He's a
What the
good
fuck we
round.
giving Angelo time on this podcast for?
I don't
Fuck
know.
it.
Well, he was a
So-
previous contender.
so
So.
Keep bringing him up now.
But Parker, even with that fight, extremely, good dudes, like sportsman. Came over, talked, said good fight, almost had me out. He's a good kid, and Porter's cool too. Porter's a good kid out of the cage. In the cage, he's just freaking animal. Like he flips the switch and he's like, "You're dead." So
I love fighters.
It's time to die.
yeah.
I really do. I like seeing like the calm fighter outside the cage, and then he's real nice. He's
like
real
Isaiah.
down to earth, and then you see him in the cage, and it's like,
Who is that?
who's that? Shit?
Yeah, it's like, well, the fuck, what fight was it? I can't remember which one it was. But anyways, I go up to Isaiah and I go and shake his hand. He's back getting his hands wrapped. Go and shake his hand. He's all cool and everything. He's got his fucking headphones on. He's just doing his thing. Then he gets into the cage and it's just, Isaiah, you don't want to shake his hand at that point.
It's that mental focus.
Yeah, it's a different zone.
Yeah, there's the focus, but then there's those fighters who are like, oh hey, nice to meet you, I'm so and so, and then in the cage they're like, raw, like they're just losing their shits. They get to let that inner beast out,
Yeah.
that inner
Exactly.
animal out, man. And I love seeing that, especially
Of course you
younger
would.
competitors. So.
And this,
of course you
this
would.
matchup, man, I don't even know who to pick. That's a fight I want to watch.
I don't even pick
Like-
fights. I don't think I've ever actually
Anymore.
Yeah, I don't think. I said I don't.
No, we
I
have
don't
once.
even want to say anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
I won't pick a matchup. I can't say anymore. I mean, hell, even when we talked about like the Jamal McClain Fred Davis fight, all I said was that it was.
Oh, let's get back into this one. Here we go.
Getting back in, I'm just using this as an example that I just said. I didn't say that Fred was going to lose. I just said it was a bad fight for him.
Right.
Well, no prediction. I don't like to predict fights, especially in the amateur division and locally, the local amateur division. I don't like doing that shit. And seeing how Christian Porter hasn't fought since 2017, and Parker hasn't fought since what?
Parker Wills would have been
17.
2018.
Well, it's 2018.
Or, I'm sorry, before that, 2017 with Josh Oswald.
No, I mean like it was 2018, but what was it like? February, some
Yeah.
shit, or
Yeah, it was 11/22 of 2017, so November.
his last fight against D'Angelo?
No, D'Angelo would have been three.
We're talking
Two
about
fights
D'Angelo.
ago.
You just asked me.
I didn't
It was
ask-
2018. It was
didn't
in
ask you anything.
March of 2018.
Oh, so March. There we go. Jesus, I didn't even ask you.
So what?
Jesus Christ.
You needed the info, and I brought it to
8
you.
months.
Okay, so
8 months
So
ish, yeah.
so 8 months for Parker. But Parker's been working, man. He's been working every
Yeah.
single day. He's got a
Yelling
really
at
good
me.
camp.
Now, I know Porter's been boxing and working, just doing other stuff besides MMA. Like we saw him at the, it was a Big Dog at Tadmore, and so I know he's been busy too. And, I'm not sure
Big
where
Dog
he's
at Tadmore or at the Springfield?
Tadmore.
At the Tadmore.
Yeah, where you fought that same card. He fought on that too. Yeah.
Wait, he fought on that card?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Can we go on any of the thingies? Why? Huh?
Because you're not supposed to make any noise.
You can go ahead and do your dad thing. It's all right. Just go.
Just leave.
Just quit talking, kid. Look at you. Look at me. I'm trying to smile, but I'm not really happy right now.
Just wait till the
I
camera's
told
off.
you. I told you not to come in here, and you're doing just that. Norm, it sounds familiar. It sounds so familiar. So right before we get to the podcast today, I'm over at his house. His son comes up to the top of the steps and goes, "Daddy, when are you guys going to do the podcast?" It's noon, by the way. When are you doing the podcast? In a few hours. Why? Gone. Just not even. Just wanted to know why.
So, if you didn't know, then we also have Apex Daycare. It's actually the cheapest daycare in the city right now.
No, I'm glad that we can do that.
It
Though.
makes
Have
it
people
makes
come
it
on
honest.
with their kids come in.
It
and
makes it honest and it makes us human, and that's what that's what's good. I don't give a shit.
Everybody's got a place here somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah, but
We have them tied up now, so no.
yeah, we went ahead and
Should be good.
Yeah.
Should be good to go.
I told you guys not to use the gorilla tape
there's
though.
what 3 of them. We've got 4, 6 beams or 8 beams. 3 of them.
Well, we just took the smallest one and we put him up high enough, just
Straight
where
into
his
the
feet
punching
doesn't.
bags.
His feet just can barely touch the ground.
But,
Here we
moving
go.
on,
Now
got
we're gonna
Chuck-
have-
We got Chuck Lamp, Tyree Johnson. Be the 3rd fight that we're going to talk about today. How do you
Dude.
feel about this fight?
Oh man, that's like if I go
'Cause
Tyree first.
We're actually going to have. We're supposed to have William Ferguson and Chuck Clamp on the podcast
Right.
within the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So
And I've only seen Chuck fight once. You know,
If only we can get Tyree in here too.
but like,
Not the same
like
day, but-
going with Tyree, it's the last couple fights. I'm like, oh, he lost. Wait, he's back. Oh, he's losing. Oh, shit, he won.
right,
You know,
he's on
and-
a 2-fight winning streak right
Yeah.
now. So
And man, he's one of those guys who's. It seems like he's hard to finish, just because of his style and his talent level. You know, and
he was losing when he fought Stacey
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah.
He was losing that fight. Like in the, I mean,
I
he
thought
got
it was gonna
knocked
get
down
stopped,
tw-
yeah.
like what, twice?
Yeah.
And knocked down hard twice, and then out of nowhere, he
Undertakered his ass up, and
Right.
That's
I mean, he
and that's why I mean it's like, you know, did Tyree fix those holes where he caught those punches? Is Chunk Lamp the kind of fighter that if he gets that is going to finish him and not give him the chance to get up?
Well, from what I've seen from Chuck, it's his striking. He's gonna throw some bombs. That's his thing. I think. I haven't seen his training regimen. I haven't seen any other fights. I just know when he fought James Braden, that he caught Braden with a good hook.
Yeah.
Sealed Braden's eye shut. And
No, that's the fight the only fight of him I saw too, and it was
they say that fight, the bombs were being dropped
Yeah.
hard in that fight. I mean, they were swinging. Tyree has been notable for standing and banging until he doesn't need to anymore. So with this fight, does he just immediately get into the wrestling, not necessarily knowing what Lamp's wrestling is like? Because I
Right.
mean, Chuck Lamp and Will Ferguson, man, brothers. And Ferguson's got a hell of a ground game.
Yeah.
And
if they train together, you would
yeah,
think
they train together. That's
it's,
3
you know,
elements.
Right.
It's probably, Chuck's probably got a pretty decent ground game. We don't know because we haven't
Right.
seen it yet.
And from personal experience, some fighters just don't show up on grappling day. Not that he does, but you never know. But they come in, work with them. Obviously, we're gonna know a lot more.
right.
But
Now, I don't know if this fight. I don't think that this fight's going to be at 205. I think this is actually going to be at heavyweight. The last couple of fights that Tyree has taken has been at heavyweight. I know he's talking about wanting to drop back down to 205. He doesn't want to fight heavyweight anymore. And Charles, his last fight, not his last fight, when he fought James Braden was at 205, and I think his last fight he had lost. It was a title fight. He got TKO'd in 37 seconds, I believe, in the first round. I don't remember who he fought, and I think it was for Bayfront Brawl.
Okay.
I think it was that promotion, and I don't know if that was a heavyweight fight or a 205.
That was actually a title fight,
Well, I knew it was a title fight.
and that was at Bayfront Brawl for heavyweight.
It was heavyweight.
It was heavyweight.
Okay. And he fought Cameron Poole.
Yep,
So,
Cameron Poole.
and that's the only loss that Chuck has on his record right now. So since his last, and that was in 2000, that was May of 2017. So he's, I know that there was a time period there, I don't think, where he was training, but now he's been training. And I think he's been training way longer than the duration of this camp. I think he's been training for like at least the last 6 months. So it's been consistent, especially when we interviewed William on the podcast. And he brought up that his brother was in there. He's been posting. I follow 3 Elements on social media. I've seen pictures of them posting. Chuck's been in the gym, so I think we're going to see an in shape, Chuck Lamb, and I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight. Like I said, if I were MMA math, if I were to guess, I think the fight's going to be showcased on the stand-up until it doesn't need to be anymore. And I think
Bombs
Tyree
away.
is probably going to, will most likely, because Tyree's he's a pretty strong wrestler. We'll try to take him to the ground. And
Right.
like I said, not knowing what Charles's wrestling or jiu-jitsu game is could benefit Tyree, or it could be detrimental to that fight. So we don't know yet.
Yeah, and it's like that. I think it's going to be most likely bombs away until someone, like I said, doesn't like it.
Right.
But, yeah.
Moving into our last fight that we're going to cover in this week's podcast is going
Dun,
to
dun,
be
dun.
Jacob Lowry versus Taylor
Adair.
Now, I was doing a little research on these guys earlier, man, because I've never heard of them. I mean, they're both 2-0. So you're not going to hear much about any of these fighters, especially in the amateur division. They've only got 4 fights between the 2 of them. They're both undefeated, and that's what caught my attention. I've never heard of these guys. They're undefeated. Going to their social media, I mean, Taylor looks like he's a fucking model. He does photo shoots and shit like that. So I'm like, okay, let's see what's up. Come to find out, he trains out of Columbus, Immortal MMA, who is owned and operated by Matt, the Immortal Brown, UFC veteran Matt Brown. So, and they've been posting pictures as of recent pictures within the last week of them training. So, he's getting it done. He's got submission. I believe he's got a submission victory, and I think both of them are
I think
submission.
they're both submission victories, yeah.
Both of Taylor's are submission, and then I think Jacob's got one by submission and one by TKO. Jacob, who is an All-American wrestler from, I don't know how to pronounce it, Thiel? Is it Thiel or Thale University out of Greenville, Pennsylvania?
I think it's Thiel.
Thiel? I think it's like TH, is it IEL
EL,
or EI?
yeah.
I think it's IEL. So, though I can't really attest to the credential of the university itself, or if it's an NCAA, or if it's out of Greensville, it might be an
NAIA.
Yeah,
NAIA.
NAIA. So, but regardless,
If you're an All-American wrestler, you're an All-American wrestler.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was just getting ready to say. You're an All-American. You're an All-American.
I mean, shit, look at all the guys from Notre Dame, Lake Erie.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the best wrestlers in the world are coming out of there.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure that Jacob trains with Monarch BJ. I'm pretty sure he's training with Monarch. He is also cross trained, and I know he has trained with Armazati.
Okay.
So there's that. I mean, but with these two guys,
Yeah, I mean,
the camps. Judging from the camps alone, this is going to be a very entertaining fight. The credentials of both fighters is going to be a very entertaining fight.
yeah. And on paper, it's wrestling versus jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I mean Jacob. I don't know if you've seen. I mean he looks the part.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
Taylor, he does too. But Jacob definitely, I mean, you see him and you're just like, damn.
Wrestler.
Wrestler, yeah. You
Yeah.
look at him, yeah, he's a wrestler. You got the face of a wrestler, the body of a wrestler. I mean,
Yep.
and then he's Jake's what, 6'2"? And his fight's going to be at middleweight, where Taylor is 6 foot.
Right.
You know, so this is going to be a good
Yeah.
fight, man. I think that this is one of the underrated fights of this card. I don't think a lot of people are going to really. They're going to look at these two fighters and they're going to see these names and they're going to go, "Who the hell are these guys? We don't care."
Right.
And then
And
it's
then
going to
they're
end
gonna
up
see the
turning out
fight.
it's going to be one of the. I can guarantee it's going to be one of the
Yeah.
best fights on this card. And,
And either one of these guys wins 2 or 3 more fights, everyone's going to be looking at them.
yeah,
You know, it's just as long as they stick with it.
in this region.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. These guys might be relative unknowns to us, but in their respected area, they're known.
Yeah.
You know, they win a couple fights with Honor and Cage Thunder, hell, any other promotion within the area.
Yeah.
They keep winning. They're going to earn that spot. They're going to earn that respect, and people are going to know them, and they're going to start fighting some top tier opponents
Yeah.
in the middleweight, possibly the welterweight class, if they can drop that low. I mean, you might even see one of them fighting at 205. So I wouldn't mind seeing one of these guys eventually go up against a fighter like Edmund Taylor.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, it just depends. But again, it's just one of those fights that a lot of people are gonna. It's an underrated fight. A lot of people are gonna overlook it.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you get guys like Scott Corbin who matches his card. He sees things that we don't see,
Oh yeah.
and I think that I think Scott's outdone himself this card, man. This card is really good.
He keeps, nothing going to be better than shit. What was it? Honor, was it 4?
Yeah, it was
or
5.
No, Honor 5 was the one where like we were going a little crazy over Fight Fest, man. That was like we didn't know of Nautica, which was like the biggest and
Right.
probably the most successful show in Northeast Ohio in
For
a
sure.
long time. We still don't even know if that card was better than the Fight Fest card.
Yeah, but then-
it's like every fight after that. Even now in Cage Thunder. Cage
Yeah.
Thunder is a promotion, a smaller promotion where you don't typically see a lot of top tier fighters on cards like that now are starting to
Yeah,
get these
and it's
top
killing
tier
it too.
fighters.
Yeah,
so
it just
Yeah, the last card
every-
for Cage Thunder was freaking knocked out of the damn park. Now he's resetting the bar again.
If you look at the crowd attendance,
Oh, hell yeah.
Cage Thunder, 4, Cage Thunder 3, to the most recent Cage Thunder 5. You doubled the amount of people.
Hell yeah.
And that could be
The venue,
The
but-
venue. It could be the fact that they had like 4 strong style fighters on the card. It could be that it was a pro-am and not an all-amateur.
Yeah.
So
But even if you don't look at attendance, the quality of fights that Corbin's putting out
that's
and
what I'm
that's-
getting at. It's the quality of fights
as a
who's on the
whole,
card.
not and there's other promoters that are like, oh, we're banking on these 3 fights just to make the card.
Yes.
Shit, the last 5 cards Corbin has done, it's top to bottom. It's like, damn, all right.
Right.
There's-
And that's
Agreed.
it. We've only covered.
Shit, we couldn't even pick submission or performance of the night for the last card because there were so many.
Right.
It was crazy.
Like I said, that's why
I was so
we're only able to
stupid with
cover
what I
4
said.
fights today. And we're gonna cover another 4 fights next week, and we're just gonna keep doing that. I mean, we've only covered I think a total of 6 or 7 fights that are on this card already.
Yeah.
And the ones that we've got, like half of those are title fights. I think he's still trying to get another title.
No, there's only one title fight so far.
There's 2 title fights.
Who?
There's Michael Ado and Jamal McClain, and there's Will Ferguson.
Doesn't show on Fighter Tix or anything that it's a. I'm just saying. That's all. As far as everybody else.
Show up on Fighter Tix, it's not happening.
All I was saying was I didn't know for sure because it was not sure. So,
No, they're happening.
okay.
They're happening.
That's why I turn over here and I look at Brian. Brian would know.
But the fights that we're gonna cover, next Sunday, the Sunday after, how we break them up, it's hard not to talk about fights we've already covered. Right. Just because it's gonna overlap, and like I want to watch every fight on this damn card.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Shit. Well, I usually don't get to watch any fights. Like I have to sneak around just to see like a round. So me getting to watch a fight is a gift.
Hopefully, yeah, we get picked up. From my understanding so far, I believe Rubber City is being picked up to record Honor Fighting Championship 7. And I believe that Randy is going to have us back for Cage Thunder on February 2nd.
Fuck yeah.
So prepare a quick turnaround. That's what we
Hey,
do.
Brian, don't worry. I'll let you know of all the fights.
So Matt will, Matt will watch all the fights.
I will watch every single fight
I
in
like
detail.
to micromanage, and I just kind of am at that point now where I'm like, I got my crew. Do you like
Right.
our KO, our interviewer, is going to be pretty busy on Honor Fighting Championship 5 because he's not going to be fighting that day, so he's going to be interviewing.
Working.
And so you're going to see a lot of KO Butler.
Wait a
in the
minute.
pre-fight interviews, the post-fight interviews.
How are we doing the post fights?
In the cage, like Nautica style.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so I'll just drop down the mic then. I can
You
do
don't
that.
have to drop down the
It'll
mic.
be on the speakers.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Nautica style. You know, it'd be,
you wanna do
be
that,
over
that's
the
fine.
loudspeaker. Josh Signs will hand the mic over to KO. Hopefully, we gotta teach KO proper mic etiquette. He's not at a rap battle anymore. So you know,
Hey, man, how you feel?
he does it not cover the.
No, there was one picture. There was one picture where it looked like he was punching him. He was like,
It was great. It was great. He was looking at it and then,
but no, KO does a good job. There's
He does.
a couple
No, he
little
does a
couple little
really-
tweaks, and he's
No, KO does a
Yep.
really good job, and
Yeah.
this is kind of like what he wants. He wants to get in the media side of mixed martial
Yeah.
arts as well as the fighting side. So
let's do it.
yeah, he joined the crew at
Nautica.
Nautica, and you know he fought. You know, well, there was the MMA drought, and then he fought at the most recent Cage Thunder. So now he's not fighting at the next Honor show. So we're gonna put his ass to work, and he's gonna get some interviews done. So
That's right.
everything's gonna work out. We're gonna see a lot of KO. It's gonna be the face of the interview portion of the Rubber City Throwdown, and
yeah.
well, let's.
I'll be the
talk a little
shaky
bit-
guy.
Let's talk a little bit about Isaiah, man. I know I asked you when you were getting in there, and but no, you've been working a lot,
Right.
and kind of like annoyingly a lot almost. It's like 12 plus hours a day almost, man, and just trying to figure out how to mix that in with training and full time work, and so we're just trying to we're trying to find that right fight for you right now. Is that what's going on? We're trying to find that right fight so you can.
Yeah, that's what's going on. Just trying to find, like I said, a solid fight. Period. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah, because we had a fight. We won't give out the step 2 and 3 of the plan, like personal life, because people might be listening. But we had a fight for him, and it was like, yeah, that'll work out. And then it was like, nah, he wants to fight someone else.
Right.
Oh, well, what the hell? You asked me, so
Right.
Now, are you going to continue to fight? Well, do you want to still fight at featherweight, or do you think that your next fight,
featherweight,
Oh,
flyweight.
I fought that.
Flyweight, sorry.
Once or twice.
Sorry, flyweight.
It's like how good was Thanksgiving? Shit.
Flyweight. Are you still trying to get down to 125, or do you plan on taking your next fight at Bantam?
Nah, for sure. Wherever the fight takes it, flyweight or bantamweight, I'll be ready to go. Whatever, me and my team, my coach decides is what's best. That's what I'm willing to do, for the fight. So as long as, like I said, as long as I can lock in a fight, that's gonna be locked in.
Yeah.
The opponent is gonna, be ready to throw down, then I'm ready to go. So
Right.
flyweight or bantamweight, either or.
Do you have anybody in mind right now?
I don't.
Just go ahead and call
I
him
don't,
out.
I don't aim. I just, I'm just climbing the ladder. So whoever is in the way is that's who's getting taken down.
Yeah, and what hurts too is with the pro-am drought in this area
Yeah.
as of late. We're probably gonna have to travel.
Yeah.
There's no pro-ams coming up around here that we're fighting
are-
for.
I
Yeah,
don't want to. It sounds bad, but it's worth fighting on.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And a lot of trust goes in, to with a promotion fight maker, a matchmaker too, and it's, they gotta have the right numbers, the right opponent, right time, and we'll get it though.
Now, with as much as you've been working, what are you walking around at right now, weight wise?
I would say I'm probably sitting around 148, 150. I'm not
that's
bad.
good. Yeah, that's good
I don't
though.
eat sloppy at all. I'm used to it.
Right.
Years of wrestling plus years of MMA, my diet is legit. I'm just used to eating pretty clean.
Right. So yeah, I mean, so you work a ton, but you're
And
not
I
like
work, I work a lot.
Not just getting off the
lot.
couch.
But yeah, but no, that's good though. That's good that you're able to keep your weight in a respectable area.
Yeah,
So
for
when
sure.
you do get that fight and you go, okay, let's commit. I can verbally commit. Yes, let's go ahead and get that flyweight. And what do you gotta lose? You haven't fought in fucking a year. What do you gotta lose? And you just look at them like, I got 20 pounds or some shit. Like
Right.
that's it.
I just need an opponent.
Right.
I'm sorry. That was a perfect face plant from your son. Just full head, just whack.
Well, listen, we covered the 4 fights. We've got a chance to catch up with Isaiah the Beast Chapman. So that's about all we have time for today. Stay
We
tuned.
will have our own rankings out pretty soon.
Oh yeah, we are doing a rankings. I'm skeptical about doing rankings just because it's going to invite more fucking drama and
Guess what?
bullshit into
Guess
our life. But
This is what we do now.
Yeah,
this is what we are now. We are going to be controversial on everything.
I don't want to be
Publicity
too
is good publicity.
controversial, but they have the Tapology rankings. Bluegrass MMA does their rankings. Why the fuck
And,
not?
and those are the same rankings, by the way,
Are
because
they?
they're together.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's-
I didn't
yeah.
know that. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
the
good.
Tapology rankings are pretty much done by Bluegrass and with their point system, but you'll have
That
someone
makes a lot of sense now that what's his name? McKinney laughed at me when I was saying the Tapology rankings when I was commentating at Honor 2, I believe. And he goes, "Oh, good old Tapology rankings." Now I get the joke.
Yeah.
It took you a while, bro.
Well, I
just
never
took you a
knew.
while.
I just never knew that they
Yeah.
were
Yeah,
related.
and the only problem with those is you'll have people that aren't active, and then you have someone who won 2 fights in a year and is above somebody that's like
Right.
4-3, and has had some tough fights. And the point system just it works to a point, but there has to be some.
No pun intended.
And we're gonna be using like a kind of like a graph almost,
Yeah.
like go to Google Docs, get like a fucking
Excel.
Excel,
Pinwheel it.
and yeah, it's gonna be open. It's gonna be constantly.
Can I do a pie chart?
Yeah.
I wanna do a pie
updating
chart.
depending on who's fighting. But are we specifically doing rankings for fighters in the Northeast Ohio region, or
Yeah.
like do they only fight for Honor and
No,
Cage
it'll
Hunter,
be-
or
it'll-
any promotion?
It'll be Northeast Ohio region, concentrating on people that we see fight in person. Like if we've
Right.
seen you fight, we've covered you, or you fought for the a promotion that we've been at, we can put you in the ranking. And then there's
personal.
and there's going to be people that we're like we haven't seen, but we're like we can't leave them out.
Right.
Right.
It's going to happen. We'll include them, and there might be someone on promotions that we don't cover, but it's a name that we want to cover. We want to bring in to this area, and like I said, it's wins and losses count, how finishes count, activity counts. If you're fighting tomato cans, it counts against you.
Right.
So there's a
If
formula.
you lose to a tomato can.
Yeah, yeah. You
Off the
shit.
pie chart.
You're 6-0.
Right, there you go. On to the pie
Yeah,
chart.
you're 6-0. You beat someone who was 1-2, or you lose someone who was 1-2. You lose points.
Right.
It's
Well,
it's more than fair, And
it
we're only
makes
doing
sense.
top 10. We're not going past that. We might do top 10
Now, are
and
we gonna-
honorable
are-
mention. A couple
Are we
guys.
going to be doing any polls on the Rubber City Throwdown?
Hell yeah, we are.
Facebook page, like, hey, what for?
I
fights of the
want
year?
everybody involved in this. This is going to be something that we can have, right?
Well, people aren't voting on rankings. It's point system.
Yeah, the
Okay.
ranking itself isn't being voted on. I'm talking about more like submission of the year,
Yeah, we'll have,
fight of the
like,
year,
amateur
fighter of
pro.
the, yeah.
Fight of the year, fighters, male, female, submission, knockout, and comeback fighter of the year.
Right.
So then no
You know,
pause.
Fight team of the year, coach of the year. There's a ton of stuff we can do. And once we get those polls up, they'll be on. There's a Facebook poll, Rubber City Throwdown. That's going to be based on votes, so everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one vote.
Everybody gets one.
Spider.
Well, I can't wait.
Xfinity remotes ready.
There's a lot of cool stuff coming. Like I said, we're getting ready to launch the Rubber City Throwdown website.
Dude, it's gonna look
We're also
so
going to
awesome.
be opening up a donation tab for what we do, kind of like a patron site. So,
Because let's face it, we don't get paid for this.
We don't get paid for this. This is all self-funded. So, if we had donation money coming in or patron money coming in, we can get another camera or 2 cameras, and we can set up multi-cam podcasting. We can get more equipment, which means better content, which means more content. So that's the plan. I mean, there are people out there that are gonna I ain't fucking giving these guys shit. Understandable, you don't have to, man. I don't really give a shit, but there are listeners out there that actually
Care.
like what we do. That,
Right.
I mean, hell, with the amount of people who actually like the Facebook page, if every single one of them donated $8, just $1 to us, we would have another camera.
Yeah.
So that's and then that's the thing.
Do you want to sponsor this child?
Yeah.
This
For 5 cents
for
a day.
5 cents a day, you could supply this child
Yo, where the kid
with with clean drinking water, at least a bar of bread.
And also in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we will have
Oh, it ain't a whole
some special guests coming on. I'm not saying who they are yet, but we have some interest on people that you might not think would be on the podcast, but whether it's
that are gonna fucking come on the podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't know why I said that. I just said it.
a lot of things coming, a lot of plans in the works, and just week by week.
Sooner or later, we're gonna have a roof for this damn studio.
Yeah.
Hey, you build it.
Sky's the
You
limit.
build it,
No
they
roof.
will come.
Right?
No roof.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is about all we have time for today. Again, make sure you get your tickets online at fightertix.com for Honor Fighting Championship 7 on January 19th, 2019 at the Chaparrals Community Center in Akron, Ohio. And until next time.
Later.
Daycare applications available online. No, just kidding.